Hey, Chief, I got any pie? Bring me some pie.
The place slightly resembles an insane asylum.
Well, all you need to start an asylum is an empty room and the right kind of people.
It's the kitchen sink.
Prepare to be astonished.
Kitchen sink. Kitchen sink.
Everything.
The kitchen sink.
Oh yeah.
Hello,
Here we
everybody.
are again.
The kitchen sink where there's never any dead air.
Doc's back.
I'm back. I feel good. It's good to see everybody out there. I'm Doc. That's bad.
Hello.
That's Gear.
Hey.
And the red one is here.
100% chance of
Here with
guitar.
my guitar. That's red.
Yeah.
Well, what should we get into tonight, fam?
I think you had a couple things you wanted to start with, Doc, while I share the show out like a mad woman, because, you know.
Well, we have. I don't even know if I wanted to share them because both of them are so unexciting. But they both bring to mind pomp and circumstance and ceremony. Be the shutdown of the government tonight and the opening of the Olympic ceremonies tomorrow morning. You gotta love it, right?
Wasn't it happening like at the same time?
Or there one just kind of goes into the other one, I think. And
Yeah.
Timberlake is doing halftime of the shutdown. He's gonna bring out Janet.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Gonna
I want
redo
to see.
that.
I want to see some nipples.
Why?
Look in the mirror.
Why was Justin Timberlake back and not Janet? He's the one who exposed her breast,
Right.
and he's back. Hashtag me too. You
No
know?
shit. Bad timing, guys.
Bad timing.
What?
And
How
then
was that Justin Timberlake's fault that her clothes came off?
oh, it was part of the routine. He was singing that song. I'm gonna have you naked by the end of this song, and then he pulled it down. But now she knew it was gonna happen because she had that special nipple thing,
Yeah.
that nipple
Pasty.
cover.
course.
Yeah.
Of course. So it wasn't like it was his fault. It was a communicative
Right.
decision.
I just
But
feel like
she's the one getting fucking in trouble for it, or
Right.
she's the one getting demonized for it?
hey, if he came back, he should have just brought her with him. And there was no reason to use Prince's memory to get fans.
And the whole controversy about that was that Prince honestly said,
He didn't like Justin. Justin dissed him in a song and everything.
well, and he said that he didn't ever want anyone to do a hologram type thing
Boom.
with him after he died. So
There
it
you
was,
go.
you know, because it was in Minneapolis, it was kind of doubly offensive
Right.
because Prince asked not to have people do that, and they went ahead and did it in his hometown.
If you're not going to honor his wishes, what are you going to
It wasn't
honor?
a hologram, at least. It was just a picture, or it was a video of him actually playing. So at least it was that, and not just a hologram. It
Right.
could have been one.
I mean, it wasn't a hologram, but I think the that's kind of a technicality, bro. You know what I mean?
But still, after you're dead, do you really have anything to say? I don't.
Well, the fans do, and they are pissed. They are super
I
pissed.
mean, we can hope. We can hope that after you're dead, you have a whole lot of stuff to say, and that you're given the opportunity to come back and say it. But I feel like maybe, no? Dead is dead, I guess.
I feel like if you know. I feel if you know myself.
I know. Well, we'll be there eventually. If anybody's coming back, it's me and Red. You know that.
Well, yeah, probably.
Well, we're tight with Jesus, you know.
That's right. We're alive and we're haunting people right now.
Jesus Christ. How do you even do that? How do you...
No, that's the thing. We do it. We do it, and we do it well.
We're doing
So what do you
it,
think
we're
about
doing
the,
it, we're doing it well. We're doing it, sorry.
Much better than Porter's doing it.
Yeah, okay, so explain who Porter is.
Porter's the chief of staff, right? That he just lost his job because he beat up 2 of his ex-wives.
Let's see.
It came
Porter...
to light.
Porter...
And Kelly looked the other way, Red.
I thought we were doing it better than And goddamn, what's that actor's name that's been alive forever? He's like a vampire.
Oh my God, that's so many people.
Yeah.
No, not Vincent Price. Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
That
Sorry,
motherfucker, I swear to God, he is a vampire. He's been alive for years and years and years. Look at, there's stuff from like the 1800s and the 1600s, and these pictures look exactly like him.
Well, he's a Coppola. You know, Ford Coppola, he is, and Gwyneth Paltrow is. Oh yeah, Nicolas Cage is a Coppola.
I think he's
They're definitely
he's either like vampires or some
proven
sort of
vampires.
Like
Proven
reincarnation
vampires.
or afterlife. I don't know. Like that guy. I don't trust.
I got it now. Rob Porter is the White House staff secretary. He resigned on Wednesday because there were some pretty valid allegations about domestic abuse. And you were saying that General Kelly, who is the White House chief of staff,
Look the other way.
just looked the other way and ignored the allegations.
That's
so
what I'm saying.
that's pretty gnarly.
Well, and it's he just never protects women, Mr. Kelly. You know.
Well, how do you guys feel about Kim Jong Un wanting to put on a military parade right before the Winter Olympics, but then Trump wanting to show up his parade by putting on his own parade? Like, do you think Trump would have put on a parade if Kim Jong Un wouldn't have? Like, I think that it's a dick showing contest. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he
Trump doesn't want to be showed up
did you know
by
that
military whatever.
Did you know that it's actually him going to France and seeing the Bastille Day parade that really inspired him to go to the Pentagon? And he did this. He goes to the Pentagon and goes to the tank room, which is it's specifically for war planning, right? This is the place where you decide you're gonna do these massive operations and whatnot. And he says, "Okay, great, yeah, whatever. Plan me a parade, okay?" Oh my God. So my suggestion here is that we send Trump little tiny plastic tanks and those plastic army men that come in like big things. We need to send him lots of those so he can just have his own little war room and play with his little tanks, and then he'll be perfectly happy. We can buy him motorized ones too, and he can have like a little joystick thing, those hobby cars, right?
Yeah, little remote control tanks. Oh yeah, they used to sell those in the back of comic books for cheap. We can hook him up. Maybe get a little, Hollywood involved. Get him some special effects. Show him some footage of, yeah, you won the war, Prez. You want show him something blowing up, some old B-roll. Just say, yeah, you won. Now you can go home. You don't have to be president anymore.
Jesus Christ. What?
If it was only that simple, my friend. If it was only that simple.
What is happening here?
So no, don't buy the toy tanks.
I'm doing it.
Because I'm gonna click right now. I'm on Amazon.
I think we should buy the toy tanks, and I think
Okay.
the parade should go into Mexico.
Okay.
And as soon as the parade goes over into Mexico,
Build that wall.
Real quick. We'll build that wall real quick, and then Trump can't get back in.
Can we just build a wall around Trump?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, he really likes walls, right?
I wish.
Build one around his hair.
Oh, his hair was awesome this week. I just love that. Mr. Vanity himself has a massive toupee, and now it's obvious to the entire world.
How does he not know when there's a gust of gust of wind?
Aren't there
Any
many
gust.
videos of him saying that he does not have a toupee and that's his natural hair?
It's not a toupee.
It looks
That's
like
not
a
a-
fierce comb over, like plaster job.
That one piece that
oh
fell off.
yes. Hey,
But
Ms. Hairstylist.
It's in the back from probably a hair transplant.
there was a recent
Wait,
video
let her talk. Shut up.
that showed that
Red,
his
shut
came
up
off
and let her talk.
when he was sitting on the airplane or whatever. Yeah.
Professional hairstylist.
Shut up and let her talk. What were you saying, my
That's
dear?
not-
Not you.
So-
Not you.
so
Not
that's
you.
not-
Not you.
Domestic.
I know. I'm trying to get her to talk.
He's
Just a really
coaxing
bad
her.
comb over from all angles, and he's probably missing hair up the back of his head from probably transplants, where they take the hair from the back of your head and put it in the near the forehead. So he's missing all that hair too. So that's why when the wind blew it, you could see that big bald spot in the back.
Aha. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you. Sorry I had to yell at you, Red. I just needed to know that from a professional because I was convinced it was like totally a toupee that fell off.
Yeah. We'll edit out the yelling.
I don't know. There was something that came up in that video though that looked like it.
It was like a flap of sprayed hair, like a weatherman. They
Ah.
spray their hair to death and then it flaps like a wing.
He should
I don't know,
wear a
I'm
hat.
I'm gonna have to relook at that video and actually try to figure that out for myself because
Yeah, when going in the wind, it's a good idea.
Oh, well, Top made a
Oh.
loop of it, so I'll send that to you. Of course he did, right? So, oh my God, we've gotten to the hair of the president, you know, and I think it's just because it's one of his Horcruxes and we need to destroy it, right? I'm not sure what the other
He lies about everything, all the way down to that. And he's impotent, and all the way down to that. And is covering for something, all the way down to that.
That's a military parade, you know? And you know what's
Oh
going to
my
happen to
God.
the streets in D.C.? I used to live 20
same thing
freaking
as in
miles
Philadelphia.
from D.C. The streets of D.C. are going to be destroyed if you put tanks through there.
Fucking
They're
crush them.
They are built for horses and
Oh, yeah.
carts. They're narrow. They're all one way. It's a manic nightmare throughout downtown DC. It's impossible to get anywhere. The streets make no sense, by the way. It goes like J, K, Q. You're like, okay, where'd the rest of the alphabet go? All right. But if they do this, if this actually happens, then the whatever of DC, what the hell, the province of DC, what the hell is it?
Area?
The
I don't know,
area
the-
of DC
the
will
square
have to
minus a bit? No.
repave all those roads, and how much is that gonna cost people?
We don't have the
It's
infrastructure.
just a mess.
And with the government
So those
shutting
are
down tonight, so maybe it won't happen.
Is that actually happening?
I think Paul
Ryan?
was the holdout. No, not Paul Ryan, excuse me.
No.
Rand Paul.
Rand Paul? Okay.
Oh yeah, he's the big holdout. What's his problem? He doesn't like the deficit. Oh Lord, have mercy
Well,
on
yeah,
my...
they're going to put, what is it, 200 and some...
We're gonna do an MMT show because nothing matters. None of it matters. It's all so stupid. But anyway, I'm sorry, my little head's exploding because of what I've recently learned about money and how it actually works and all that. But hopefully, I'm still learning about it. It's very complicated to me because I don't have that kind of mind that grabs onto those sorts of things. So once I kind of have a better grasp on it, I want to do a big show on MMT, Modern Monetary Theory. You can look it up. Stephanie Kelton is a great person to watch if you're interested, by the way. That's just one person. Christopher L. Ray or L. Christopher Ray is another one. So what they do is they bandy about this deficit thing. It's just a poker chip that they throw on the table to say, I want to hold up the government. I want to do this, and we want to do that. It doesn't really matter in the end, and they know it, and that's the thing. That's what bothers me about it. So he is pandering to his base, Rand Paul. He's saying, I am the libertarian Tea Party savior, and I want small government and fiscal responsibility, sir.
Well, right. But that used to be the call of the Republicans before Trump. They would say all the time that they hated to add to the deficit, and that was what they were never going to do. But this would be the biggest and worst add to the deficit. But we don't have to worry about it because the government's going to shut
But you
down.
can't really just blame one side because that's part of the problem. our government is a two-party system, and we got to get off this whole two-party idea system, because when you have two parties, you're just going to have arguments all the time.
Right.
Everybody's got to come together and agree on one thing. Like, we got to find utopia somehow, and until we can get rid of all this hatred and bias and white versus black or country versus country, until we come to the point where we realize that we're all one species, one minded organism that needs to focus on each other instead of against each other, then we're never going to get anywhere. We need to realize that to be able to push ahead and actually make a huge difference in our progression and society and how our species will actually move forward.
And that is,
anyway,
I think that is something that I've got a lot of weird theories about that, because I'm a weird person, and I think that, strangely enough, I think that climate change is going to actually start that rolling. Like,
climate change, that might be the only thing that actually helps our society. And
that's what I mean, dude. Seriously, yeah.
It gives us something to unify about.
And no, it also gives us the
existential crisis.
I mean, if we have this looming shit, like right now, all of our almond trees are blooming. It's February. We're going to lose the crop, right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to have to do eventually is band together as small groups of humans, grow our own food, take care of one another, you know, have a medicine person, a doctor, whatever, you know, have your own group of people like Doc Rock over here who can take care of one another in a, you know, that kind of utopian way. It's always going to be hard because there's always going to be people who will vie for power, and there will always be people who can charm the masses and get them to kind of follow the Pied Piper. So you will always fight that in human, like in the human condition, I think. But I think
human nature, because no matter what, like, humans naturally want to try to get ahead and take advantage of other people, because if you can get a better deal, then that's kind of, it's, I don't know if it's ingrained in you, but it's a natural thing to try to always do the best you can, but the easiest way you can, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm responding to like a million chats and stuff.
Well, it's easier to work for somebody that gives you a uniform and health insurance and tells you when to show up. It just scares some people, you know, to quit their job and to start raising their own food. And of course, so many people don't have the opportunity to do that, the space that they're in control of to do it, or the freedom in their life to do it. But it's even the people that do have that, where one of the spouses, you know, could quit the job and raise food and do things around the house, and then the other person can keep the job. It's just too scary to do it, you know. And there's so much regulation against it. Nobody wants you to really grow food in your yard.
Yeah.
You know, they come up with something.
You're built, the way society is built right now is like it's harder to start your own small business. To be able to grow your own food and create your own small farm is way harder than it is to go down and get a job at Kmart or at Walmart or at KFC and work for somebody else getting paid minimal wage for doing something that doesn't benefit you at all and you can barely pay your bills with. So the American dream is fucking bullshit as I fucking see it, the way that the system is set up nowadays. It might have been there years and years ago before we were born, but the way it is now, it is not there anymore. Unless you're born with a lot of money or born in a place of privilege, it's not easy to get up and above the system anymore these days, because the system has been built and designed to keep you as a working slave, because the only way the system keeps working is if you have slaves.
Now here's the other thing that's interesting. We've been fed this whole, like, the economy's booming and everybody's making money. Hey guys, are you guys making any more money than you were last year? Because I'm not.
I think I got like a $600 raise a year, maybe.
Well, that's. But
That's
I mean,
$50 a month.
I'm asking you, was that because of the policies that were enacted, or was that because that's company policy?
No, that's
Is
just
that
company
just company policy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my company doesn't do that, so I'm not seeing any more money, and I'm trying to figure out where all this prosperity is.
Right.
I mean, I think Jeff Bezos has most of it, the Amazon guy, but there's that. But then we see things like the Dow. Check it out. I mean, it has gone down. It's been historic losses. 2 historic losses this week. It's dropped 1,000 points twice this week.
Damn.
Okay, well, what we're seeing, I believe, is the end of Obama's economy and the beginning of the Trump economy, because it has now been a year that Trump has been in power.
Right.
And we're seeing the effects of his economy, and he has boasted about how great the economy is going to be, and I really hope it does stay okay.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's gonna.
This graph does not look like it's
No,
okay.
I mean, it's down 1,032, 4.15% this week.
It has a very flaccid look to it. If you want,
it's all droopy.
If you want a
You know,
doctor's,
he said a couple of years ago. Were you just mentioning this, or he said if a president ever lost over 1,000 points on the stock market, then they should be shot out to the moon or something. Like,
fired. They should be fired.
You're fired.
Yeah, he should be
You're
fired.
fired.
I don't know.
Observer,
Like,
you're
some
fired.
ridiculous statement that he made
Can't
a
do
couple
that.
of years ago about the president,
No.
and now that's exactly happened.
Yep.
Well, so it's money's so bad, you got to work for Paul Ryan and be a secretary. You get $1.50 extra a week.
God.
Can you believe it? I love that he deleted that tweet. Not that he did the tweet, but that he deleted it,
yeah.
which just brought more attention to
I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah.
What's the deal? What?
He bragged on working out a way for his secretary to get $1.50 more a week.
Oh my God.
And it's like, do you know how much $1.50 is, dude? She can't even get a Costco membership.
No, that was what he was saying. It paid for her Costco membership.
Oh, is that
That
what
was what it was. I don't need a fucking Costco membership. I need to eat every day, which I can't because I'm fucking poor.
Right.
Well, you can at Costco, though, for $1.50, and you can get a hot dog and a 20-ounce soda.
All that stuff that'll kill you.
I was just going to say, Red, I am not going to eat a hot dog, and you know that.
So that's $78 a year.
Can I throw out some of our comments in the chat, because there's some really good ones.
Yeah.
Widow Crip said about some of the things we were talking about in regards to policy. Wait, here it is. Stop voting in the con artists who are good at giving speeches. Make them show us their fucking plan and how they're going to implement it. Hallelujah. Thank you. That is right.
I thought he did that. I thought he said exactly what he was going to do. He was going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. That he showed us how.
Right.
Jesus.
I'm just waiting for it now.
Oh, now, well, this is why the budget's getting fucked up and the government's going to shut
Why
down
doesn't
again
he
at
just take
midnight.
the parade down to the border?
We already did this.
And it'll be a wall.
Right, can we
of
just
tanks.
park the tanks? Great
Park
idea.
the tanks.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
Doc, high five, dude.
Up top,
Yes.
up top.
You
Park
did
the
it.
tanks.
Woo, woo, we did it. Just park all the tanks and all them fucking stupid things they brought out to all the police departments in the
Right.
10cc program or the 1cc program, whatever
Bring
it
in
was.
the military
Bring in
vehicles.
all those military
To ride
vehicles.
the police, yeah.
Yeah, just bring all those down the border and just park them there. There you go.
White people,
yeah, dude,
hey, white
problem
people love
solved.
rounding up the wagons. They love to do that. They'd be happy to do it.
I still like the idea of, like, you get to buy a brick. And you buy a brick, and then your name gets put on it.
A brick
And where
of what?
you live, the address of where you live, and then you get to put that on the wall, and that's your contribution to the wall. So when it gets built, your name and address is just there to celebrate how much asshole and racist you are.
Right. And then somebody, when it falls apart and crumbles down, somebody can bring that brick and throw it through the front window because your address is on it.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe when they're jumping over the wall, They're just going to remember that one address and name and be your house eventually.
Oh, my.
Yes, and Widow just did a qualifier, a detailed fucking plan that will benefit the people, not his ego. We know we are being sarcastic because we're assholes. Right. That's what we do.
Yeah, it almost sounds like we don't have the faith in Trump to do the right thing, you know?
But I do like this idea.
Where that comes from.
Yeah.
Maybe Richard Spencer will be the first person to buy one of those bricks and put his name and address on it to help build the wall.
Dick Spencer.
Dude, Trump could do a total GoFundMe, and all those Nazis would totally build his wall.
Wait, Dick Spencer.
Dick Punch Spencer.
Dick Spin for short.
Dick Spin.
Because I had a friend
Don't
named Spencer, and his nickname was Spin, like Spin for short.
Dick Spin.
So he's Dick Spin. And that's Richard Spencer's real name.
I like that he got
I got
punched.
it right
Dick
here.
Spin face punch.
You know what? Here's the thing, and I know that we're in the touchy-feely world, but I think you should punch Nazis. I think you should you should yell traitor at people with Confederate flags. I do it every day. I pass a house every day, twice, and I yell, "You fucking traitors! You lost the war!"
Right.
Because they're traitors.
The flag.
And they lost the war.
And now what I've been doing on Facebook is every time there's somebody... Wait. This is great. You're going to love this. Every time I find a dude who has a Confederate flag as his Avi, I'm like, oh my God, the battle flag of Virginia. I love you. Are you from Virginia? I'm from Marshall. Let's talk. Hey, will you be my friend? And they're like, no. I just like to piss off liberals. I'm like, you're not from Virginia? My heart is fucking broken, bro. What the fuck?
How could you do this?
You're playing with my heritage and my culture, man.
Right.
I love the Confederate flag and the idea of the rebel and against the man and that whole idea, but the whole other idea about slavery and small-mindedness and the whole white pride thing kind of takes away from the other ideas that I thought were kind of cool about the rebel flag. But you also got to look at, like, when you're idolizing a flag, like, so strongly, anything that you look at and you idolize so strongly can't be good. Like, idolization is one of the worst things in the world, right? Like, isn't that against, like even in the Bible?
Yep.
Like, idolization.
That's one of the commandments, bro.
Yeah.
God was like, thou shalt not have any other gods before me.
That should be wrong, right? I don't know. Like, it seems hypocritical for Christians, if you believe in the Bible and what it teaches, to idolize something so much that you would get a fight over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've always really enjoyed your ideas on the flag and why it shouldn't be revered. And I have different ideas on the flag because I'm Native American, and we were taught to respect the flag, but to distress the flag, because we are nations that are, like, perpetually in distress. So a lot of Native Americans will hang the flag upside down, which really upsets a lot of people. But they have to understand that, much like Colin Kaepernick's take a knee protest, that's not disrespecting the flag. That is showing you that we are in distress because of your country.
Well, the greatest flag, to me, the greatest flag is the Hawaiian flag, because it's the British flag inverted. And it's the official flag. It's recognized. It's the British flag inverted, and it's because they were the first ones to get their butts kicked out of there with Captain Cook,
Well,
I mean, but anyway,
I hope that when they take over, they reinstate some, like, kick-ass flag,
Yeah, exactly. With Kamehameha on it.
Yeah, Kamehameha needs to be on that flag. Or somebody.
Or Queen Elite.
Well, they still have a huge push for sovereignty over there, and Hawaii, if they can get enough votes, they'll go freaking sovereign as soon as they can.
That's right.
They don't want to be part of the American nation or the 50th state. They would much rather be their own place.
Keep Hawaiian lands in Hawaiian hands. That's what we say in Hawaii, and I can go along with that every time.
Yeah.
Like I've said before, I think people just need to stop drawing lines in the sand and just allow people to live their lives the way they want to live them. Like, you were born, you were raised one way, that's excellent. But don't push that on somebody that doesn't want it, or don't try to take something away from somebody that doesn't want it taken away.
Yeah, or like, why the fuck do you care so much about what I do?
Exactly.
You know? What the fuck is wrong in your life that you got to get upset over what everybody else is doing?
It's an egotistical thing, and it's a weakness that people have because they think that they have something to share with somebody else that's better than what they have, and they have to push it on them because their own insecurities make them do that bullshit.
I mean, whatever happened to mind your own business? Like,
no shit.
Why do we attack people? We try to tell indigenous people how to do things, and they've been doing it right since long before we got around.
You know how to cook rice? Let me tell you how to cook rice.
And the immigration debate, honestly, is it's so offensive to me. It offends me so much because there was a bunch of fucking immigrants that we welcomed with open arms at the beginning. The Wampanoag welcomed people. A lot of those coastal eastern tribes welcomed people. My nation had a pact with the British. We traded with the British. We were working with them. We were cool. And then all of a sudden the mood changed and things got weird. And they started to go, I think that's a really cool spot that you have there. Get the fuck out, And we're like, yo, we have treaties with you people. We have pacts with you about trading. We were nations with trade deals with like treaties with all these things that we were our own nations inside this great land, and we were willing to allow these people to come in and share what we had because we weren't the only nation that was there. We knew that the whole land was populated by other nations, and we were like, okay, well, this is a new nation. Let's see what they're about. But they were brutal. They have insane, whacked out ideas, and we're still living our lives based on those whacked out ideals. Like I always say, we're based on feudal city-states, lords and peasants, constantly. That's our model. Rant over.
Andre.
Well, look at how our small town is gone. If you want to call it peasant and city states, whatever, because our town is such a small, poor town, but there is a small group of elites that run everything that goes down in that county, because it is an old school, good old boys stuff, if you will, if you know the saying, good old boys.
Yeah.
And those are the old school people that run everything, and they decide the rules on it, and they have all the pull with all the people with money around the town.
Everybody in the McConnell Foundation's white, and everybody in the grand jury's white. That's there you go.
And then we also have an even more insidious player here, which is a mega church called Bethel Church, which is now runs the city convention
center. They're taking advantage
center.
of that majorly because they know that our county is a very religious county as well, and
Yes.
they get a lot of pull and a lot of resource from that.
Now here's the
and
thing.
they have to register to vote to go there.
They already have leased the city's civic center, which is an auditorium that holds about 2,000 people. They do religious schools there. They will not allow heavy metal concerts to play there, so we're experiencing a lot of, or hip hop concerts to play there. Yeah. We're experiencing a modicum of censorship in that manner because they're religious and they don't believe that a band like Lamb of God should play at this place because
Totally hypocritical.
You know, which is really funny because I know people who
Peter Frampton's playing.
Well, you know, there's a lot of shows that are coming there, but what's interesting about it is that they're not just into that. They have bought a lot of property all over town. They have this huge coffee shop. They have their own media company, really huge media company, very nice offices. And if I was even a bit religious, I'd go work for them because I know I'd be making a whole lot more money.
Yeah, right.
You know, and they're all, when I worked at this other radio station, I produced a lot of shows for these people. They all like juice and like do weird diets, you know, the trendy diets, whatever, trendy coconut water and all this, like whatever, you know. They all have like
small the airplane is to come into Reading?
What?
Do you know how small the airplane is coming into Reading?
Yeah.
It's like a 19-person or 33-person airplane usually coming into Reading, something like that. It's very small. And almost every single time I ride that fucking airplane, there's a person going to Bethel on it.
They bring in people from everywhere. I mean, I've heard people from many different countries. I don't know how many illegal aliens are in this church. I really don't. And what's also interesting to me is the fact that they are all like Stepford people. They have super white teeth and they're all very white and blonde and, you know, but those are the people that come out into the public. The church is full of many different ethnicities and different types of people, but the people who are out in the media world are very, you know, what you would see on, you know, 90210, for God's sakes. It's insane what these people are, and they're talking about chiropractic and doing it on babies and things of that. I mean, it's insanity. And they have this, like, this church is, I can't even explain it. I actually joined this group on Facebook about the church, people concerned about Bethel. Interesting Facebook group because they post things all the time about what's happening in town as it relates to Bethel. Like how many different properties are being sucked up by Bethel, you know?
You've seen their group homes, right?
Yeah, and they do have group homes. They rent
adult
houses.
Students that are all registered to vote, and you have to vote with the agenda of the church. The church gives you your...
What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
I was at a housewarming party for a friend of mine.
How is that not election
And
hacking?
all the neighbors that came were Bethel, and all they talked about, my friend isn't, was how just at his housewarming party, all they could talk about was how disappointed they were that an outsider got the house and that they wanted it to be full of Bethel students, and they were, but they, you know, they buy them up in mass. Yeah.
That's scary, man.
Oh my God, I almost got into a fight with 3 Bethel guys at 2 o'clock in the morning when I was drunk and pissed on the side of the road because I was mad at my husband. Like the 3rd time and probably the last time I was mad at my husband. They walked up to me and started talking to me about Jesus, and I threatened to kick the shit out of him. Right. And I was almost ready to throw down. I had my glasses and my shoes off and my hair up. You know, I was ready. So, you know, don't talk to me about Jesus when I'm drinking. I'm glad I don't drink anymore because I'm an asshole. But I'm serious. They will walk around town.
And about wanting to pray for you. Like they get really in your face about.
Yeah.
They feel something's wrong and they want to pray for you. That way they can spread their Jesus love on top of you. And if they could just pray for you, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to change in your life if you just let them pray for you.
What they do, Red, is they walk around town at 2, 3 in the morning and they find drunk people and homeless people and they recruit them. That's what they do. They recruit these people that are having issues in their lives.
They have a Messiah complex. They want you to owe them for
having
everything.
them touch me. I let them touch me. I let them hold on to me, and I have them pray for me because I think it's fucking awesome that these people are going to fucking put all this good energy into me. I feel like I'm like a good energy sucker. I get to suck all the good energy out of these people.
People have said that about you. People have said
I take
that.
it into my dead, soulless fucking body, and I recycle it into evil energy, and I pipe it to them.
Oh man.
They don't realize when they're touching me.
Well, that's heavy
they're
metal
getting
for you.
my negative energy.
Yeah, you're like swapping out your bad energy for their good.
I'm recycling their positive energy into negative energy.
Oh my God, they're gonna have to get the demons expelled from them when they go home.
Well, I just hate it when they're like doing like a Jehovah's Witness thing, whereas they don't really care about you, but it's directly related to the gems that they're getting in their crown in heaven. Like I remember having, that's not really a concern, right? At least with Jehovah's Witnesses, it's related to the crown.
They just need that donation. They just need that $2 donation for their pamphlet, and then they're going to leave you alone.
Right.
So what's the deal?
Because they can only take 40,000 people to heaven, right? I think
144,000.
144,000.
And I remember telling my friend that was trying to recruit me, I'm just like, but you guys have already hit that number, right? And he's like, oh, word, yeah. We've already got 100. But what it is if you come, when I die, I get like this dope crown. I'm like, so my well-being is just a gem in your crown.
Wait, what, Red? What's the deal with the crown?
Okay, now when Jehovah's Witnesses believe there's only 144,000 that get to go to heaven, and that's the people that get crowned. Everybody else that has found their faith in the Jehovah's Witnesses, when they die and the apocalypse happens and the second coming of Christ happens and blah blah blah, and the earth becomes. They believe the earth becomes a paradise again. Armageddon will happen. All wickedness will be destroyed, and then only the pure and the righteous will live on the earth, and everybody will be restored to their perfect state, and you'll have everlasting happiness, eternity. And all people that live their lives in a happy state will be resurrected to live on this paradise earth.
Oh, cool. Groovy. I'm chill, right?
So
we're good?
Witness teaching.
But so those asshole 140,000 to go up, are they, when we make it perfect here, they're going to come back? Because we don't want them back.
I don't really know if they're
not allowed back.
Power or decisions on what happens. I don't know if they turn into like executives and they're like, this is like Shark Tank or something. Like, I don't know if that's gonna fly or not on Earth. It might not really roll. You haven't been there for a while. Yeah. I was there just a little bit ago, and maybe not. Maybe not.
Wouldn't that suck if you died and you had to do like fucking office work because you were
we don't need any more We're good on musicians.
They're just like,
we have the church band and anything else. We don't
like,
need it.
Oh, we made it. Oh, and they look around, 144,000 of them, and they're like, here's your suits, there's your cubicles, get to stamping papers, bitches.
We got a lot of rebuilding to do.
No, they're just like, you gotta process all these guys and see who's the bad guys, who gets to stay on Paradise and who doesn't. And you're like, this is gonna take forever. That's the idea. Welcome to heaven.
We have 1,000 stamps that need to be licked.
Right. Here's your crown.
Right. Where heaven turns really out to be hell.
Are you sure this is not hell? Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. If I gotta work in a cubicle, that's hell.
That is hell. I don't work in a cubicle.
I mean, a vocal booth is as close to a cubicle.
These are all letters that are going to Jesus right now. You should be happy.
I have to say I am happy, and here's why. Seattle is doing some cool fucking shit. And I don't know if California is, but I know for a fact that Washington State is. They are admitting to the fact that the drug war was not only racist, but it was also a humongous failure. And they are planning on releasing people who are in on marijuana charges for possession. Yeah. And I think they're going to expunge records for people who have just a possession charge. And this doesn't, apply to people who sold 100 pounds of weed or whatever, Like, that's a different story. But I don't know if California, Colorado...
Misdemeanor charges are going to be dropped, and people that are in jail for just weed felonies or marijuana felonies are going to be released.
Yeah.
Yeah, San Francisco's doing it. They're amazing. Going into their files and going across the board and erasing those. Now, of course, up here in Northern California, further north, they're going to make you pay for a lawyer.
Yeah.
And go in and go through all the steps. But man, they could free up all that hard drive space by just going in and doing it.
And physical space, dude.
Just do it. And it's just a search.
And
Yeah.
they've been
Not even-
bitching. Sorry, go ahead.
Who cares about physical space or any of that shit? Like, that's
Just do the right thing.
that should be the right thing to do. Because if you have a law that has been taken off the books, shouldn't those people's crimes be taken off the
I
books
think
if
so.
that's not a crime anymore?
Absolutely.
I totally
yeah.
think so. Yeah.
With an apology.
Yeah, no shit.
Sorry we were
Yeah.
so long behind the curve.
Exactly. People have been put in jail for all their lives for having just possession charges, not even sales, no physical terrible crimes, never hurt anybody in their lives. They just got caught with some weed because they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. They've been put in jail all their lives. That is wrong.
And
And they
it's
need-
finally getting righted. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
finally getting righted, and I never honestly thought I would live to see the day. I thought it would be the next generation. I thought it would be my kids, my kids' generation who would do this. But I'm glad to see that there are adults in this country who understand that cannabis is not a Schedule I drug. It is a plant. It helps people with seizures and sleep and anxiety and pain and all kinds of things. And when you use it in certain ways, I know a 70-year-old woman that is a sweet little teacher lady who's a storyteller and who's adorable, who's now using CBD oil on her fucking leg because her sciatica is so bad that nothing helps it except the CBD oil. It's a rub. She's using the rub.
Right.
And that's not somebody who would even think about smoking marijuana, but she will think about using the products that help her sciatica. That's smart, and that's a new world, right? I mean, and now we're opening up a whole new world for people with pain complexes, and so many people in this world suffer from a bad back or a broken, ankle that bothers you when it's cold. And if you have access to CBD oil for a reasonable price, you don't have to go to the doctor, get opiates, and get yourself hooked, and then end up in the gutter dying of a heroin overdose.
That's all I can think about is the opioid crisis. It's like, get people off of that as quick as possible, and if there's something else that'll help their pain management,
give it to them.
Yeah.
Well, doctors realize that the medical industry doesn't make any money if you're curing people.
Yeah.
It only makes money if you are making them addicts. So what is one of the most addictive things in the world?
Heroin!
Opiates.
Yeah.
So when you create a product that is easily accessible and cheap to begin with, I mean, they were selling those. I remember when oxycodone first came out, back in the early 2000s, like when it got big, and it was everywhere. And I remember seeing it on the street, and like people were selling it all the time, and it was just like heroin. They were selling heroin, but it was cheap. It was so cheap, and people got addicted to it very easily.
About 7 years ago, I could probably find Norcos from about 12 different sources in about 5 minutes for about $1.50 a pill. Seriously, it was so easy to find meds. They were everywhere. People were getting $360 a month and not taking them, And that's why they are implementing drug tests every month for pain patients. It's bullshit, but they're testing not for coke or for fucking ecstasy. They're testing to make sure that you're taking the goddamn opiates you're prescribed.
Yeah.
And it's an invasion of my privacy. It's like you don't trust me, a chronically ill person with the highest rated pain complex on earth, to take the meds that you have prescribed to me. I will not give them away. You may not have my meds because I need all of them because I am in massive amounts of pain. So, no, fuck you. Stop fucking drug It should be like, after a while, okay, this person is trustworthy now. We know this girl is doing what she's supposed to do. We don't need to do this anymore. Because the insurance company won't cover the drug tests. I refuse to pay for them. I don't give a shit. Just fucking keep fucking billing me. Keep calling me and collecting shit. You ain't getting money from me because I don't have any.
Well, people make the argument that, oh, well, you don't want people, you know, working somewhere and then they're going to be high while they're working or blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? I think that the individual place needs to take responsibility. The worker needs to take responsibility. Not the worker, but the companies should take responsibility and be like, hey, if this person can work for me, then they're a fucking good asset. And if they can't, then you fire them. The whole drug test thing every week or whatever, I don't think that necessarily tells if that's a good worker or not. Because I've known a lot of people that work better, actually, because they have to be on something. I hate to advocate the use of drugs as a regular thing, but some people actually require something to be able to work because they're either in so much pain or because they have a issue or disorder that requires them to take something that makes them feel normal.
Here's something that I really don't understand. Like, I don't get high off Xanax, right? I'm prescribed it because I have a massive anxiety disorder it started with the diagnosis of this horrible disease. It's pretty easy to see where that came from, right? So I take like 2 in the morning and 2 at night. The only thing it does for me is put me right to fucking sleep if I take too many. Why do people want it? I don't, like, these are the things that I think about. Why do you want to be high on Xanax? It just makes you go to sleep, you dumbass. Like, wow, that's fun. 5 minutes of, woo, I feel kind of weird. I'm asleep now. Why?
Well, I don't think Xanax is supposed to actually be a party drug. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to put you to sleep. It's supposed to make you relax.
Well, all it does for me is it tamps down my anxiety. I take 2 in the morning and 2 at night. They're very small, so I take like 2 milligrams a day, right?
Exactly. Well, that's exactly what it's supposed to do. It's an anti-anxiety drug.
And when I talk to other anxiety patients, they are also as pissed as I am that people advocate Xanax as a party drug because we use it as prescribed to keep us from losing our fucking minds. And I am prone to hysterical fits. Ask anybody on the show. They know.
Well, it's not something you're taking because it's this wonderful, great experience. It's like, it's putting you to sleep. The pain is so bad that freaking sleep is a great alternative.
Sleep is a great alternative.
And we all know that, you sleep too much, you're going to miss out on things, or it takes time from other things you want to get done.
Believe
people
me,
aren't taking Xanax and falling asleep because they're using it right because it's fun.
It's like eating Tide Pods. What the fuck are you doing?
God. Well, it's like you have, I don't want to get it personal, but you have those pain relieving things that you control.
I have 2 machines in my body that are, one is attached to a nerve group that it sends an electronic pulse constantly into my body, and it's set at certain places so it fixes instead of the pain signal that I get, it sends an electronic stimulus. The other one I broke, but it
well, I'm just waiting for
it's not as good, but it also does that, but it's like an internal TENS unit. If you've ever been to physical therapy and had the little zappy thing that has electrodes that they put on your muscles, it feels like that. It just kind of sends a different signal so that the pain signal is cut off. So I have 2 of those. It interrupts the pain signal and sends an electronic stimulus instead, and it controls about 40% of my pain. But I'm still in constant pain. So yeah, I've gone to the point where I've had 2 back surgeries and implanted 2 machines into my body so that I can try to feel better without meds. And actually, if I didn't have a job, I wouldn't be taking Xanax. I would just be smoking pot. But I have to go to work. So, Yeah.
Well, I know. Eventually they're gonna keep the controller, right? They're gonna be like, this time, Gear, we're sending you home, but we're gonna keep the remotes.
I did.
Or like, say if people have different finances, like, we're gonna give you the pain reliever, but since you're in that price range, you have to call us and we'll push the button.
Oh God!
Right? You have to call this number so you don't abuse it.
Oh man!
So you don't have pain relief without our permission.
Yeah.
Well, we've got people.
I hated that when they cut me off on my pain relief button. That was tough.
I know, right?
I had like every 10 minutes when they first gave it to me. Then they shut it down to like 15, and then it was 20, and then it was like every 45 minutes, and then finally they cut me off with the button altogether, and they gave me pills.
Damn.
He really hurt himself. He was in the hospital, by the way.
They call themselves caretakers.
But
that's based off a true story.
I wanted to also say that I know this. I run a pain page on Facebook because I needed to talk to other people about it because you don't want to just like talk about it on your own personal Facebook page all the time because people just start to shut off. So finding like-minded people is something that my doctor suggested to do. So I did this, and I've got a woman in there who cannot even get the DEA to sign off on her doctor's prescription. The doctor can't write the prescription without being fined by the DEA, so she can't get what she needs, and she is now like almost having a heart attack because of the quick stop of this drug. Fentanyl. She's on fentanyl, and she's in massive pain. She's really fucked up. So they stopped the fentanyl. And, you know, I'm against fentanyl completely. Personally, I would never take fentanyl, but I can't judge this woman. She has a different issue than I do. And they stopped allowing her fentanyl. And now that is ridiculous to cut somebody off of fentanyl cold turkey because of rules that have gone into place January 1st. It's unbelievable what they're doing to pain patients because of this opioid epidemic, you know.
Just the fact if you know anything about opiates, or any kind of hardcore drug like that, an opiate, if you were taking it for so long, your body actually gets so used to it. If you cut yourself off of it, you can actually die from it because your body relies on the opiate. Yeah.
It's sad, and that's the thing, you know. And then what they want to do is they want to take you off of your opiate and put you on Suboxone. That's fun. So you're going to replace a drug with another drug. You know, you can step down, and that's what it takes years though, because I've been on these things for like 10 years, so it's been like 2 years that I've been stepping down. So you have to step down slowly, very slowly.
Horrible drug dealer that everybody knows. One drug dealer that just every decade changes what he sells, and he's like, and we got the new thing.
Yeah.
They just want to move you up to the new thing because you've maxed out on that last one.
It's insane, and you know, I've got people who are threatening to like try to go to Cuba because they can't.
You can't keep the same trick all the time.
What?
You can't keep the same trick all the time. It gets tired. You gotta move you gotta circulate your tricks.
Play your guitar.
That's right. That's for the red-headed pimp on the guitar. You gotta change your trick.
We're almost out of time. Play your guitar and talk about drums. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Tell me about drums. Did you buy anything new? What have you been doing with your drums?
Drums?
You been hitting them scans?
Oh, I hear the drums now.
I've been singing these songs all by myself, trying to find myself singing these songs, sitting here all by myself. But I'm thinking of you and all the times that we've been through. I wanted to tell you I miss you. I was thinking about you. I'm gonna come to you really soon.
This has been the Kitchen Sink.
Oh.
Without the Kitchen Sink live stream.
Yeah, or something.
Something like that.
Bunch of fucking fuckery.
Stuff and things.
I hope your drums are good. No?
Are your drums good?
My drums are perfect.
All right.
He's never coming home.
We have your dog.
Still have your dog. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, we are out of time, everybody. We're out of time.
Thanks for listening in.
Thank you for being with us, and we will be back next week. We're also gonna restream this thing tomorrow night on the Facebookery.
Facebook.
We are?
Yep.
Cool.
Yay.
That's what we're doing.
Bye, Facebook.
Bing, bang, boom, bong, bong, bing, 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 bing. Kitchen sink.
The kitchen sink. With gear.
There was just kittens and fucking puppies and rainbows and bunnies. Bad.
How can you edit out a Pegasus?
Red.
I like unicorns.
And Doc.
Loose cannon! What have you got yourself into, man?
Everything.
And the kitchen sink.
Just sitting around, freaking hanging out.
You know, it's kind of like the Newsweek.
There's not much going on in the news.
It was just the news was just kind of hanging out.
You know, I've thought that the president being investigated by the FBI was kind of normal. You know, that's happened before, hasn't it?
Has.
That's happened before,
that makes
right?
it normal. Yeah, that happened before.
The kitchen sink.
Thursdays at 8 p.m.